It was the Sabbath day, a day set apart for rest and worship. As Jesus and his disciples walked through the grain fields, the disciples reached out, picked some heads of grain, rubbed them in their hands, and ate the kernels. Immediately, some Pharisees noticed. Their eyes narrowed as they questioned, "Why are you doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath?" But Jesus, calm and full of wisdom, reminded them of the scriptures. Have you never read what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He went into the house of God and took the consecrated bread that only priests were allowed to eat, and he gave some to his companions as well. Then, with authority that startled them, Jesus declared, "The Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath." On another Sabbath, Jesus entered the synagogue to teach. Among the people was a man whose right hand was shriveled and useless. The Pharisees and teachers of the law were watching closely. They weren't interested in the man's suffering. They wanted to see if Jesus would heal him so they could accuse him. But Jesus knew their hearts. He turned to the man and said, "Get up and stand in front of everyone." The man obeyed, standing before the entire synagogue. Jesus looked around at his accusers and asked, "Which is lawful on the Sabbath, to do good or to do evil, to save life or to destroy it?" The silence was heavy. None dared to answer. Then Jesus turned back to the man and said gently, "Stretch out your hand." The man obeyed, and in that instant his hand was restored, whole and strong. The crowd marveled, but the Pharisees were furious. Instead of rejoicing over the miracle, they began whispering among themselves, plotting what they might do to Jesus. Jesus showed that the heart of God's law is mercy, compassion, and life. The Sabbath was never meant to be a burden, but a blessing, a time to honor God by doing good. And here's the truth. Jesus is Lord not only of the Sabbath, but of every part of our lives. He has authority over rest and work, over sickness and healing, over law and grace. Today, he calls you to stretch out your hand to him, your weakness, your need, your burden. And just as he restored the man's hand, he can restore your life.